Iron Lung is currently #1 in the US cinema charts, and a lot of people are probably looking at that thinking, is it worth the hype or is it like overblown because this is another Markiplier content? And Markiplier is a huge YouTuber with lots of fans. So are a lot of people going in because they're big fans of Markiplier, and or are they going in because they want to see it as like an actual decent movie? And I can tell you right off the bat, it's a really good film. I definitely think it's worth the hype. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and I wanted to go in there without the rose-tinted glasses because I've been a fan of Markiplier for 10 plus years. And I brought my wife with me, who's also a fan of Markiplier, but not a massive fan. So she probably watched it more for the movie than for Markiplier, whereas I tried not to, but probably did a little bit biased towards Markiplier because it was, you know, his first ever foray into the cinema world. And this is like massive for YouTubers to be able to finally go into and make movies for the cinema. I think this is probably the first one that's like happened where it's been actually funded by a YouTuber and they've written most of it, directed it, and even acted in it as well. There's probably YouTubers who have done acting into other like Hollywood movies, but not self-funded movies that have gone into cinema. So yeah, it's massive. Markiplier did a really good job. You watch him through pretty much the entirety of the movie. It's literally just him in this submarine. It's based off the game called Iron Lung, which Markiplier has played in the past. I think it's like over 3 years ago now, where he really loved the game and he's like, I want to make a movie from this game. And that's exactly what he did. He got in contact with the developer of the game, tried to get as much lore and story from him as possible. The developer even tried to sort of say, not completely steer it, but steer it in like a direction he would like it to go into. And he actually got less and less involved as time went on because he could see that Markiplier had all the right ideas, wanted to take it into the sort of similar direction that he wanted to take it into, which is really cool to see because a lot of times you get in contact with like the developer and they want to steer it completely a different direction and it doesn't always work quite as well, or the director or writer steers it in like another direction the developer didn't want it to go into. So it can go either one or two ways normally, but this one was kind of directed in it went in the correct direction that he was hoping for. I think the developer even said like there was a few things that he probably would have changed because everyone's thought process is different, right? And he would have gone a slightly different direction, but not too far from what Markiplier wrote. But yeah, Markiplier is the main actor. He plays as Simon, who is a convict, and he's stuck in a welded together submarine that goes down into a blood ocean on a moon. Basically, there's this quiet rapture that happened. It's taken almost everyone out. And there are space stations around that are trying to explore these moons and planets. And Simon has been placed to explore this blood ocean. And basically, he has to go through to certain coordinates that are on a map and go through and like take pictures and try and like get back to the base and tell them or show them exactly what he's found with the images. And it gets very tense. I feel like it's very tense almost the entire time because it feels very claustrophobic, right? You're stuck in this tiny submarine filled with blood ocean. There isn't like, you can't see anything in front of you. The only thing that he can view is when he takes pictures, and that's what is outside. And the pictures are X-ray images. And when he goes back to base, he actually tries to take a picture with the image. And then they get very angry because it's X-ray. And with X-ray, there are stuff that can happen to the body. And one of them, I think, had cancer. So that would cause really bad reaction to his like cancer cells. And Simon actually was like, oh, is he okay? I'm really sorry for that. But yeah, it's so good. It's so tense. The music as well, the soundtrack was awesome. I've got the soundtrack saved on my Spotify because it was just so good. And yeah, he's just done such an incredible job. His acting was very good. I think at first it was a little bit not quite there, but as the movie went on, it got better and better. And there was a few moments of dialogue, and a lot of people have said this as well. It's not just me. There are a few moments of dialogue where it's not quite clear what is happening. It was quite hard to figure out what they were trying to say, and it's like it felt like there were really important moments of dialogue that you couldn't quite hear. Markiplier knows. He understands that that was an issue, and hopefully going forward, when he makes his next movie, he can make it better and make the dialogue clearer. I think there was a few parts with like static because it was over a speaker, and a few parts where the soundtrack was a bit too over the top for the dialogue. So they just needed to bring that back in, make the dialogue a little bit clearer, and people would be able to understand it more. But that is pretty much my only gripe with the movie. Everything else was just really well done. It was very well paced. It didn't feel like any parts were too long or, you know, dragged out too long or were going too quickly. It was a very well paced out movie. It was very good because I felt like I wasn't getting bored. I was like, oh, am I going to just get bored of watching Markiplier in the submarine the entire time? But I didn't feel bored at all. It felt like it was just really well paced. I think it was about 2.5 hours of movie. So it, you know, it went on for a while, and I was like, is this going to be too long? Because normally movies are generally like hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere between there. So I was like, is it going to be like a bit too long? But I felt like it was a perfect length of time. It was really well portrayed. The sort of him when he found the skeleton, and then they're saying like, oh, it's a dead skeleton, like it's not moving around, it's not alive. If it moves around, it's because of the tremors on the planet make it move around. And then we kind of find out it is actually alive, and it has been stalking Simon. And it gets really, really tense. The ending is really good. All the blood scenes and such is really well done as well. A lot of it was not CGI. It was just like based on this contraption that they actually built, put together. All the computer tech and everything inside the submarine was built as well. And then Markiplier made the computers himself because he wanted them to be very specific to the movie. I think the only CGI bit was with the enemy at the end, the monster, and some of the blood, but most of the blood was real. He used gallons and gallons of blood. So all of it put together just came out to be just a fantastic film. I think it's worth the hype. If you're into eldritch horror, it would be right up your alley. And generally any kind of horror fan, I think, will be a fan of this movie as well. Even if you're not a fan or don't know of Markiplier, but enjoy horror, this could definitely be for you. I do recommend people see it. If you're not up for going to a cinema, then wait for it to come out. Hopefully it comes out on like, I reckon it will probably come out on YouTube. Maybe it'll come out on like Amazon and Netflix or something as well. But yeah, it's 100% worth the watch if you're into those sort of horror movies. It gets my thumbs up. So yeah, that's about it. Like this video. If you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you next one. Peace out. Goodbye.